Arm. All right. This is what happens when I'm trying to do an interview midday. That's why I try to do them early in the morning or in the evening. But we're going to knock this out right now. What's going on, everybody? Troy Rawlings here. Got an amazing interview coming up with a young man who I want you all to follow. Let me put his information down here. And he happens to deal with some of the essential real estate that we all need. But we met up the other night in a meeting and went to a dinner meeting with him and some colleagues, and we were talking, and I had so many questions. And I was like, you know what? This would be great for an interview. And for our grown and sexy folks. So we're waiting for him to come back in. So I had some not really technical difficulties, just adjusting during the light is actually a little crazy. Yeah, come back in, Paul. How's everybody doing? You all right out there? Good. I probably shouldn't be doing coffee this time of day, Paul. But I love me some coffee. And when you get the right creamer, But we're going to bring our young man in. This young man works for a company that many people here in Los Angeles know about. But without further ado, we're going to bring in Paul LOO. Let me bring you in, Paul, so we can... I'm going to bring you on in. We bring in the young man, Paul. I thought he was, man, we were out, it was very casual. So you talk about people always say, oh, you look so young, you look so young. This guy, you have to turn your camera around, Paul.
Okay, 1 second. Okay, there you go.
You
Paul.
swear, hey, what's up, Cheryl friend? You swear Paul was, it's just, I try to tell him, it's just social media. It's just a little social media. You're just fine. You're doing just great. And we didn't know he was going to have the burgundy and red going today. But ladies and gentlemen, I want to introduce you to Paul LOO. Now the PA is it planning assistant, planning
advisor,
planning
yes,
advisor, and he works with Forest Lawn. People in Los Angeles, of course, know what Forest Lawn is. Some of you may have heard of Forest Lawn because Michael Jackson is buried there. Yes, buried.
Yes,
you heard me.
Yes.
Or, well, I don't know if he's buried because he's above ground, right? Isn't it a mausoleum or something?
No, he's inside the mausoleum in his own statue. He actually has his own statue.
What do you mean?
Yes. Meaning that, you know how like Michael Jackson is
wait. His body is in a statue?
We have what Forsan told me is that there's a statue, and then below the statue there's like a spot that his coffin is put in there.
Okay.
So think of it as like a sarcophagus. So then there's a statue, and then his body it's in the statue. Yeah.
So 17 years ago, and it happens to be the 17-year anniversary of his passing.
Yeah.
So I know it's probably crazy over there right now. Oh, first, before we're gonna go all the way back. I'm a Tarantino a little bit, so I jump around a little bit. But Paul LOO, introduce yourself to the people and tell them what you do.
Okay. Hi everyone. My name is Paul LOO, and then I am a planning advisor for Forest Lawn. So meaning that I help family pre-plan. So I help family pre-plan for property, for services, and also another thing called OAP. Okay, so it's 3 things total. Okay, so the first step, of course, is the property. It's what we call the priority, the first step. Okay, and
Property
then
is a priority. First
yeah.
thing you're
So
gonna do
they
is get some
yeah,
property. Now we're
yes,
talking
property.
about
Okay.
if you didn't realize what pre-planning mean, he means before you leave the before you can
Yeah.
do this, before you can they can do this at the place, they need to have your your real estate need to be paid for. So most people don't really just don't
Yeah.
they will not do this if your real estate ain't straight. So
Yes.
pre-planning is where you want to be, stuff like that. And when you're dealing with somebody like Forest Lawn, I get on the landscaping. When I was talking about great places to take a date, the landscaping is amazing. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So yeah. So Troy was talking about. Sorry. So pre-planning is pretty much you plan ahead for the future, so you don't do things last minute. A lot of
Right.
people, when we go to events, we go to kiosks, tabletop. A lot of family when they see Forest Sun, they're like they thought actually I ever have one client that came from because we do event at El County Fair as well, and then there's one gentleman that came in and they thought that we sell houses. I was like, no
Because
sir,
it looked like a
we
real
don't sell
estate.
houses. Yes,
It
it
looks like
does.
it looks like a real estate, and it
Yes,
is. It is real
yeah,
estate.
it is. Yeah,
It's the
it is real
realest real
estate.
estate you'll ever get.
Yeah. Yes. So it is a real estate, but then we call that a real estate for the afterlife. You
Well,
know,
the
you don't use it now.
at least for your body, when your spirit
Yeah.
goes on you. Before you can do
Yes.
this, you
Yep.
got to.
You figure this. Yep. Yeah. So the pre-planning is pretty much you're planning for the future, and then there's four advantages for pre-planning. First one, the main one is you save money.
Save
Okay,
money.
that's the first one. Yes. Okay. And then the second one is that you get to choose the spot that you want. Because when you don't pre-plan, Forest Sun has certain section that is available for last minute people that doesn't pre-plan, right? Which is what we call ad need. And what that is that let's just say that your loved one passed away already, and then you don't have a spot, so you choose that spot. But then that spot is mainly for people for last minute, like ad need cases. That's what we call it.
So this is the one they
Okay.
got to drive all the way up to. Might be a lot of trees in the area. Certain
Yes.
areas set up
Yes.
because the
Certain
landscape in
areas.
Forest
Yes.
Lawn is gorgeous. And
Yes.
y'all be like, Troy, why you keep talking about the landscape? Because my father was a photographer, and any photographers out there know that when they're doing wedding photography or scenic photography, there's certain cemetery in Baltimore's Woodlawn Cemetery had the lake, the swans, and the
Yes.
everything, and no one would know where you were unless they knew where you were. And Forest Lawn
Yes.
has a lot of beautiful landscape like that. Another thing you mentioned, just on this part, when you talk about plotting, you guys don't have like I've seen like for famous people, they have something kind of raised. Like you said, Michael Jackson has a mini mausoleum,
Mhm.
I guess. But you don't have traditional tombstones.
We don't have to do tombstone because the tombstone is what we call it. It's kind of old style.
It is old
It's
style.
like a, oh
It's
yeah,
old school.
old style already.
It
Yeah, it's old
is it
school.
is
Yes.
Dracula and
Yes.
all those movies,
Yeah.
old school.
Yeah. Yes. And then right now we do have some. It's not called tombstone anymore. It's actually called statue. We call it statue now.
Statue.
So yeah, because Forest Lawn, we are our pretty much our idea is based on art. Because when you
Art.
go there, you don't feel like it's a cemetery. It's all about
No,
art. Yeah,
no.
yeah. So yeah, so
And
so
we were
then when you
talking
go
about
there,
this. We were mentioning about this about we were talking about demo. And he was like, "Yeah, Troy, because I'm going to do some stuff on social media, and I'm trying to figure." I was like, "Well, your demo is up because I'm really your demo." I was like, "Well, because 45 and over, you should
yeah,
really have that as a part of your planning to get your help, especially those people that get in houses and getting cars and stuff like that. You might want to put a little something on where you're going to be, unless even. But you said something key. Okay, you said it was three things. Let me not jump out of that. You said it was pre-planning. It was something else, and you said something.
OAP.
What's OAP?
Okay, OAP is like a separate program that it deal with expanding the range for transportation. Because when you buy funeral services with Forest Lawn, they only cover up to 75 miles.
Oh, the
So
actual
yes,
right, because you guys aren't just
yeah,
a cemetery, you're a funeral
yeah,
home. You do everything.
yes,
So did you
yes,
guys do everything for Michael Jackson's funeral?
yes. We do everything. Yep. For him, what my understanding is that she went from the transportation. So from I don't know where she passed away. I think it's at home. After I know that the incident happened at home.
He was
So
at
after that,
he
yeah,
was at I think he was at the ranch. And the ranch is a
yeah,
ways. It's here in California, but
yeah,
in Los Angeles, but it's a ways.
yeah. So then we have to go there, pick up the body, and then bring it to Forest Lawn, Glendale. And then from there on, then the family talked to another department called the Memorial Counseling, and then they are the one that schedule the services. What do they want? What kind of service they want? Because we have different packages for funeral services. Yeah. So then they see what they want, visitation, stuff like that. Yeah. And then from there on, then when the time comes, yeah, then we just go with whatever they choose.
Here's
Yes.
what's so crazy about that. When Michael passed, it was shocking to the whole world. When
Yes.
the funeral services happened, I lived here in Burbank, but I lived on West Verdugo off of Lake on the third. Hey, what's going on, everybody? What's going on, man? On I lived on the third floor, so we had a balcony. And when it happened, I went out and I could not only see the helicopters, you could look over into Forest Lawn and we saw the procession. It was crazy.
Yeah. It was
Yeah,
one of
that
it's
was
what we call it's one of
2009.
the crazy. Yeah, it was one of the craziest funeral that we had in history
Yeah.
because it was just the car. I remember because I was not here yet. I was no somewhere else, but then I saw the news, and
Right.
then it was one of the the most impacted, the most crowded funeral I think funeral the Forest Lawn has ever experienced.
Oh, hands down,
So
I'm
so
sure.
so that was yeah.
So what was the
So
second thing you mentioned? You mentioned pre-planning, you mentioned something else and before you do
so it was pre-planning, it was funeral services, and then it was
services.
OAP. Yeah, funeral
So
services. Yeah.
so the average person, and this is something because some people like myself, yeah, I kind of want to be cremated to have more memorial type service, but um, and I don't know if I want to have something where I'd still have, I guess, have a statue somewhere where where people could do, but even in the cremation of that, because something I learned when my father passed away in 2010, and my father was that was another thing. My father was military, but his wife said, he didn't want to be buried alone, and they had a plot, but we didn't realize how much, even when people have a plot, there are other fees. If you don't go through a service like Forest Long and had everything really taken care of, there are on the spot fees. There were
Yes.
there was probably $10,000 or $12,000 that still had to be paid on the spot. They had a plot. And that's another thing. He's military, so he could have been buried for free. But when they went that other route, they said they had to put a plate in the ground above something to make sure they lowered it. It was a lot.
It was okay. Pretty much when you because I know when I get into this career, this thing, I learned a lot of things. And then the first thing I learned is that how before, like let's just say that 1940s or 1930s, when you get buried, you just bury with a casket. There's nothing else, just casket
Right.
going to the ground.
Right.
Yeah,
That's what most of us
yeah,
saw or see, even when on
yeah.
TV. We just see a
Yes,
casket
that's the
lowered.
most common one.
Right.
Yes. But then now, I think after 1990 or something like that, California came out with a new rule saying that all the casket has to be in a vault. Has to be in a vault, and then the vault, the vault will be lower with the casket into the ground now. So
And you
it's
know
like a
what? I've seen
whole
that
new.
because it's a big cement piece and they'll open it
Yes,
up and the
yes,
casket is still in there. Yes,
yes,
I've seen that.
yes,
And we were in Maryland, so I didn't even realize that that was a law.
yeah. So now, yeah. So a lot has changed. A lot has changed, and then actually I can tell that the reason why the California came up with that law is because first of all, the vault actually does three things to the casket. First of all, it protected. It protected for hundreds of years. Okay, it can last for a long time. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Second thing is stabilize the ground because at Forest Lawn, some of the property there's a hill, it's like a slope. So then if they just say that if the ground, whatever the dirt, after it rains, the ground will get weaker, by some chance. So that
Mm.
valve actually stabilizes it. Okay. And then the third thing that what it does is that it keeps because you know how that when people say that, oh, if the casket go to the ground, a lot of
Mm-hmm.
bugs might get in, stuff like that. Yeah. So that it actually protect the vault to that extent. So pretty much you don't have to worry about, like bugs getting into the casket. That's all the normal stuff that, people hear about from movies or stuff like that. Yeah. So that's what the vault does to, for the casket. So,
So, and you've been
yeah.
working with Forest Lawn for, you said 4 years now?
For 4.5 years.
Okay.
4.5
Now,
years. Yeah.
so someone comes to you. Okay, let's talk a bit of pricing that you know of. Someone comes to you and they want to start planning something out. How do you go about figuring out um, the numbers off the bat?
Numbers. Okay.
Real estate
So
type of caskets, services. How do you figure out, okay, this is your package, this is what you pay on, and let's break that down before.
okay. So the first step, like I said, the first step will be the property, and then the property would be depend on the location and elevation.
Mhm.
Because some property is at top of the hill. So when you're talking about, so look at this as I use this a good example as like a real estate, like a house. So let's just say that if you buy a house at top of the hill, it'll be very expensive, because all the houses they Beverly Hill, all the houses up there is like what, 1 to 2 million, even $3 million.
Mhm.
So it's the same concept for property. So let's just say that if you buy a house, buy a property at the top of the hill, those would cost around $20,000 or more.
Okay.
So that's the minimum rate. Okay.
Which is not
But so
which amazingly enough, it's not crazy. Like I said, we spent well, I don't we, but it wasn't we. I don't think I, but it was another between, and I mean, he had insurance, a little bit he did have. This is another reason why, ladies and gentlemen, it is important to have life insurance. But, um, but like you're saying, if they're pre-planning and you say, oh, we can be on the top of the hill for 30 grand. Mm, you start laying that
yeah,
out. Some of y'all are paying triple that for your car,
yeah.
and it
So
depreciates.
right now, yeah, yeah. So right now, when you look at, because what some people choose Foresan, because first of all, we have the most beautiful property, the most prettiest, okay? The most
Mm,
beautiful property. Second of all, we have all type of elevation. So let's just say that if you think that, I don't care about scenery, I don't care about where I bury, I just want like the good price. So that will be at the middle of the hill. So if it's at the middle of the hill, it goes down to about 6,000, six
oh,
thousand more. So yeah. So as you move from the top to the middle of the hill to the bottom of the hill, the prices start dropping already.
oh,
So we
just
do
like
have a lot
living in
of, yeah,
Beverly Hills or living in the valley.
yeah, yeah, the valley, yeah.
Living
So we do
downtown.
have,
You can get the downtown version or you can get the up
yeah,
on.
yeah, the upscale version, yeah. And then the higher, I guess, first, if you think about it, so let's just say that if your property is the highest, you have the best scenery. There's some, like we got some property that you could see that it's, hold on 1 second.
It might be somebody getting their afterlife real estate. Why do you talk like that? Why do people in afterlife talk? Might be someone getting their afterlife real estate right now. Oh, I should hold up. Let me send this to my guy. I can't spell real estate right now. What is going on with me, y'all? I swear I'm just drinking coffee. Swear. Okay, there we go.
Yeah. Hello? Yeah,
Oh, no
sorry about
problem.
that. Yeah, because right now I'm actually on it's what we call booth duty. So then when they just say they have a family walk in and then
Mhm.
they're interested in property, if they're interested in funeral services, I will go and assist them and stuff like that.
Okay.
So today it was my booth duty. So then now the family just walked in. So they wanted a policy review. So meaning that
Oh, you gotta go.
when we hit positive, yeah, no, don't wait. I told her give me another 10 minutes. Yeah,
Okay.
because yeah, but it's okay. So I just want to these guys know that there are family that walked in, and then they're interested in like property, field services, and then they want to find out more information. You know, so we do have all type of cases. Yeah, and then some family that walked in, they bought property already, but then they don't know where it is. So they just want to make sure that the property still exists for some reason. They have that fear, saying that, oh, my property might disappear for some reason. Yeah, I have some
Let
few
me tell you
clients that
something. And
has that fear.
you and I were talking about this, and it's it's funny. I'm probably gonna put it in my Never the Cool Kid. I'm probably gonna put it in my new comedy joint. But rest in peace wherever she is. Um, my aunt Law. They called her Aunt Law because she used to raise hell. Law. I thought that she would cuss up a storm. I thought her name was Law until she passed away, and I realized as a young person her name was Bernice Laura Goodwin. Know how I found out? Because in our shed in Campfield in Nice County area in Baltimore County was a tombstone that said Bernice Laura Goodwin. Now, how we got it, I still don't know. The fact that it was never placed, like this was years after she passed away, this tombstone was in our garden. And you talk about fear of not knowing where there are a bunch of people buried and we don't know where they are. So being somewhere like a forest lawn, or if you're in Maryland, you know, they have a bunch of beautiful, it's sad to say certain areas have beautiful cemetery, but Forest Lawn is amazing. But you're saying something, and I thought it was key that some of our people hear this, especially people 45 and over, our age and over. I swore Paul was in his 20s when I met him. He's in his 40s. So, what are some of the key benefits? So, because I don't want to hold you too long, because I know it's a busy place. What are some of
Yes.
your key key benefits? Maybe your five top key benefits to doing pre-planning, working with Forest Lawn, and working with you guys.
Okay. So the five keys that, well, first of all, I just mentioned was saving money. So
Right.
when you prepare, you do save money. Okay. Second, the biggest one is that you can pay installment. So when you pre-plan, you can pay. First of all, you have to do down payment. Okay. After down
Mhm.
payment, then we figure
How
out
much is the
how
down
the
payment
financing
usually?
works.
About 50%. How
Down
much?
payment. So down payment works like this. We have four choices. 50% down. Okay, if you put 50% down, there's no interest. Okay,
Oh,
50%. Yeah, there's no interest involved. Okay. The next level is 30% down. So 30% down, there's 6% interest.
okay.
Okay, and then after that, there's a 15% down, and
15.
15% down. Yes, 50% down. There's I think there's a 3% interest, and then after that, then is the minimum is 10% down, and then 10% down will be 10% interest.
Okay.
So this
Oh,
down
okay.
payment,
So it
yeah,
goes up 15. It goes up
15,
6 to
30, yeah, yeah, and then and then it's just move from there. So this one is just on the financing option that we have.
right, right,
Yeah,
right.
yeah, and then after that, so a lot, and then some people, if they have, let's just say that they bought the property for like maybe 10,000, they have that funding because they've been saving up for their whole life. So if they want to pay it off, they can pay it off, fully.
Here's
And
another thing, and some of y'all might think it's cryptic, but if I pay for my property and it's at a place like Forest Lawn, I've been out there. I see how many of you people go out there for people in general go out there for picnics. How many people
yes,
daily come out to Forest Lawn and have a picnic?
a lot. We see that almost
Now, mind you, there's certain
two,
hills and
two, three
stuff
times a
that
week.
there's a lot of
Yeah,
property in Forest Lawn. Everything is not, tombs. There's a
yeah,
lot of property in Forest Lawn, a huge
yes.
amount. And I didn't know there were different. Forest Lawn had different areas too. I thought it was just the one in Burbank, Glendale. I didn't know they had so many.
No, we have
Um,
6 locations. Yeah,
6 locations. But
yes.
if I pay for my property, I'm coming out I'm having cocktails. I'm gonna have a little
Yeah,
party every now and then.
we have, the
Pre-planned party.
biggest one. Yeah, the biggest one is the Mother's Day. Mother's Day is the biggest
Oh,
one. Yeah,
but
and
you have an
then the
event on
next.
Mother's Day too. Did you have a jazz band or
Mhm.
something out there?
Yes, yes, we do. Yes, we do.
Live.
So,
It's alive. It's not.
yeah,
It's they're live at the
yes.
space. It's live.
Yeah, yes. And then we cater to everyone. We cater to Latino, we cater to all kind of nationality. And then we have even one for the we just had one. I think
Juneteenth.
what Juneteenth one of them too. Yeah, Juneteenth one
I
of them.
saw.
And then
I
the other
saw the
one is the
promotion
Memorial
for that.
Day.
I
Yeah,
gotta
and then
start.
also for yeah.
You probably meet some
So
great
yeah. I
people at
mean,
these events.
we do a lot. We know the funny thing is we do meet a lot of interesting people. And then we meet people that have it's not that no idea, but then that they know that how much is changing, how much things are increasing, so they know that they cannot wait anymore longer. They don't drag on anymore. But then sometimes when you go there, because when you go to, let's just say that you visit your mom's grave and stuff like that, and then you pay a visit, you think about it, but then when you go back home, everything just sort of gets scrapped away, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
And
You
then, but
when you're
then,
there, you're thinking about it, but later on, you're like, eh.
yeah, yeah. But then
Now,
the things that, yeah, go ahead.
no, and I'll let you boogie after this. So it's property, and there's upkeep and things like that. So after you usually when someone is, let's say this person doesn't have a next of kin, stuff like that, they get buried at Forest Lawn. They've paid all the fees. Once they pay fees, is there are there any, if you're all paid up, is there anything else that you have to pay? But you put that on the front end as far as your maintenance fee, right?
Yeah, we do. Every property has what we call an endowment care fund, and
Endowment care.
yeah, and that one is the maintenance
Hold
fee.
on, hold
So
on. We got
yeah,
the one and only. I usually, if it was just me, I'd bring you in Arsenio. We got to do an interview on here, Arsenio. I got to bring you on. But Arsenio Hall is here, brother. We're talking about afterlife real estate. So if you don't know her yet, you could actually have a spot near Michael.
yes,
See,
yes,
you can get a spot at Forest Lawn near Michael. We talking about afterlife real estate for the 50 and over crowd. So okay, Arsenio Hall popped in. I had to give him some
yeah,
love.
yeah. So then we
So
do
the
have
endowment fund
a
pays
maintenance fees.
for upfront
Yes, for
maintenance,
the maintenance fee.
landscaping, right?
Yeah, and then that one is 15% of the property. So they just say that if your property costs around $10,000, you have to pay another 15% on top of the 10,000 for the endowment care fund, the maintenance fee.
Okay.
So we call it, yeah. And then after
Now,
that,
since you've been
then
there
yeah.
the past 4 years, 4.5 years, who's any famous people that are there? I know you can't tell everybody that's there, of course, but any what's the, I guess, the biggest funeral or homegoing or thing that you've had there that you were like, whoa, this is huge.
We haven't had one lately because you know why? Glendale has the most celebrity. I can tell that Glendale has the most celebrity. But then
Right.
my main region is Covina Hill. Yeah, my main region is in Covina Hill. So then
Convenience Hills, Convenience Hills.
yeah. So then we're located on the 10 and the 57 next to California Pomona. Yeah,
Mm.
that's where our location is
I'm
at.
out here in Burbank
Yeah,
near the main one. Like I said, I watched
yeah,
17 years ago. I watched the helicopters and the procession go up from my balcony in Burbank, and it's
right.
like, whoa.
Yeah. So then all the so if you it's what we call when you want to be very the next to celebrities, Hollywood Hill and Glendale. Those are the main two locations that has the most celebrity. Yeah. We do have one.
Do
I
you
heard
get
that we
people
do have
requesting that
one.
a lot though?
Yes, we do. Yeah. And then when they requested their surprise too, they're like, wow, because yeah, because we have I think what I heard is like at least 40 to 50 celebrities buried in two parks, they Hollywood Hill and Glendale parks. Yeah. So we get that a lot. And then when people hear that, I always tell them, at the tabletop kiosk, hey, you want to be next to the celebrity? Go to Glendale. Yeah. You go there, you can see them every time. You visit
That's crazy.
your
Old lady
loved
like,
one at the same time.
I always love Burt Reynolds. Is Burt Reynolds here? Is it single? Like, ma'am, is
Yeah,
it by
yeah.
itself?
Yeah. So we do get all type of not crazy but interesting conversation, and then we have to explain to them. Yeah, but then at the end, then they notice that then they feel like, wow, we're because this LA, this Los Angeles, it's full of celebrities. Yeah,
Mm.
celebrities everywhere. Yeah. And then Foresight is famously known for it. Yeah. And then but then like I said, when we come to pre-planning, the main reason that we don't want why people pre-plan is that you don't want to put burden on your family. You don't want to put burden on your children. You don't want to put burden on anyone else.
Right.
Because when you do that, you first of all you save the cost. Second of all, you pick what you want, the public that you want,
Hmm.
and then the third of all, you choose what you want. We honor you. So let's just say that if your dad's getting the funeral services, he picked what he wants. That's the main thing. We honor
Hmm.
it. So
Hmm.
he picked the service. If he want visitation, what kind of casket, what kind of tombstone, what kind of flower. Yeah, a lot of stuff.
And
So
and
yeah,
like I said, we're paying double and triple the amount for our cars.
yes,
And not
yes,
even and it would stop a lot of GoFundMe's
yes.
when somebody
And I can
passes
tell you
away.
this: we have heard on the news saying that when people don't pre-plan, they deal with the last minute, right? When they deal with the last minute, first of all, when you do it the last minute, you also need a lot of information for funeral services. People think it's
Mhm.
easy, or you just get buried, stuff like that. But our county require you to fill out a big, like a lot of information, like what is your father's name, what's your
Mhm.
mother's name, what job, stuff like that. You have to, if you let's just say you don't pre-plan, you have to go back home, dig up all the information, which takes time, and then you have to come back out here. So you would be a lot of back and forth when you don't pre-plan. So that's another key issue too, as well. Yeah.
Yeah, it's save yourself
And
a lot
yeah,
of it's we don't talk about it
save us
enough.
out a lot of time.
Right.
Yeah,
And here's another thing. Like a lot of people have life insurance policies, but have never took the time to say, "Oh, did we plan out the next thing?" A lot of older folks knew.
yes,
They
older
they
folks.
had it laid out. Look, I got my
Yeah,
it's already paid for. My papers in the drawer. You go in the drawer, my insurance, but then everything is this the dress I want. My friend Yonder, my best friend, said his mother knew everything from the dress. She had a dress planned out, including the woman she wanted to do her hair. And he had that lady make sure she'd styled her hair and all that stuff. But it's kind of funny because we joke about it and but at the same time, when you think about, and this made me think about my father, not only from the experience, because it wasn't a good experience when he passed away and we had to do the last minute scramble and
yes,
thinking everything was already taken care of, and it really wasn't. I'm glad you mentioned the people came in and said, "Hey, we just wanted to check on everything and make
yeah,
sure it was good." You said they just somebody just called you, or they wanted to check and make sure
yeah.
everything was good, because you never know. Are there any other fees? Is there anything going
Mm-hmm.
on? Is it good? We update the stuff. I have a friend of mine, her and her family, and her parents are in their 80s now, and her father was having some issues, her mom, but they have monthly family meetings and they go over everything, what they have, what's in order. Check. It's necessary. The pre-planning is extremely necessary. And whether you hear another 40, 50, 60 years or two,
Yeah,
it's good to have it in order.
yeah. And then also, I want to let you know this too. When you pre-plan, we guarantee it. So if anything happens, Frozen guaranteed whatever needs to be done. So let's just say that if you pre-plan anything that let's just say that okay, so you order a casket, okay, and then that casket we might not have it because it's on low demand. So we don't have anymore. But if you want the same cassette, we have something similar that's around 90% similar. So that's another thing too. So but then, like I said, the main reason, the key reason is that you save the cost because property funeral services OAP goes up every year.
Mhm.
Everybody knows about it. Yeah, but then they don't take into consideration. They say that we can wait another maybe 2 years, 3 years, but then they didn't know that if it jumps, they're like, man, I should have bought that. I have family coming in to the kiosk asking me, oh, how much is the property? I was like, oh, around 10,000. I was like, I thought 6,000. I was like, that's like 5 years ago, man. That's a long time ago. Yeah. So
Well, I
they're
wasn't
like,
sick
then
back then.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
you
so so
weren't.
yeah, I hear a bunch of stories and then I mean our job is only to advise them. We can't tell them what they want to do.
Right.
We just try to we just tell them if you want to believe us or not, it's up to you. But then we advise you, we tell you what's going on. But then some of them, I got a few families that regret it. Regret they didn't even pre-plan. And then when the time comes, like something happens and man, we got a property, but then we don't have funeral services. So now they gotta do the second part. No, so yeah, it's something that a lot of people don't take into consideration, but then they sometimes they act it a little bit too late, but sometimes they don't act it like at the time that they need to. So yeah, so
Right.
that's
And
all my
maybe and
experience.
and it's
Yeah.
probably because, when they're doing the Memorial Day sales and the get your car, just that another if Forrest Lawn came out, Memorial Day sale, get your plot, get your plot. They were like, oh, maybe we need to jump on the sale. We got some great tree covered areas, $3,000. Like, oh, wait a minute.
Yeah,
We might need to go over there and pre-plan. How can people
yeah.
get in touch with you? What's your phone number? How can people get in touch with you, Paul?
Okay, so my phone number is 626-484-4697.
And I'll have it. All of it's on his page as well. His email
Yeah.
address. We'll have all that. I'll have it. You said 626-484.
Yes, sir. 484
What's the rest of it?
46 4697.
Or 697. And anything else you want to let the people know before we get out of here?
Yeah, I just want to let you know that a lot of people don't regret because they think that, oh, am I doing the wrong stuff? You're not, because when this is something that everybody needs. What I learned is that when we're born, we're put here on earth to take care of our task, to take care of whatever we take care of. But we no matter what, we need to go back to Him, and then we need to leave earth one way or another. So no matter what, this thing is something that everybody needs, but it just depends on how you plan it out, how you do it, and then how um, what's it, talk to it with your family, because a lot of time they said that, oh, I did talk to my family. Yeah, talk to them, discuss it, But then this thing, like I said, when they just said if they have a big family, they have to discuss it and just to see, oh, what does mom want? What does dad want? And I can tell this, if you don't pre-plan, there's also another thing I want to discuss. If you don't pre-plan, sometimes they create a conflict within a family because when you have too many brothers and
Huge.
sisters, yeah, they don't agree.
Huge.
Yes.
I've seen it time and time. I've experienced it, and even if it's not a big blowout where well, I experienced at a very young age where, like I said, I still don't know why my aunt Bernice Laura Goodwin's. I can laugh about it now because everybody's gone, but but I don't know why her. And it was like every time I go in the shed, you put your bike in the shed, and her tombstone's right there. I'm like. And I don't know if I was too young to ever ask, why is Aunt, I didn't know Aunt Laura's name was Laura. Yeah, how did you find out? Is that her tombstone Well, we don't talk about that. Where is she? And it would look expensive. It was like this is back when they were like the marble type stone, and it was it was
Yeah.
beautiful. It was beautiful.
Yeah.
And it was
Yeah, that was
huge.
back in the days. Yeah, that was back in the days. But
And it
then
was in our
now,
shed.
yeah. But then now, all the tombstone is all bronze now. There's no more marble. It's all bronze now. You know what? Hold on one second.
Paul Luke. No, go. We're gonna let you go, Paul, because we know you're busy. It's people trying to pre-plan because people are leaving here. I don't know why it's funny. But
Yeah.
before you gotta make sure you had the right space and you gotta talk to Paul. You can
Yeah.
actually you don't want to be sitting there like
Yeah. So,
mad. He was like, why is
but
he mad? He was like, oh man, we didn't pre-plan. That's a good commercial.
yeah. But then yeah, so everyone, so yeah, sorry, the COVID office keep on calling me because someone need to review the policy. So they
Go.
sometimes they don't know, no, they want to preview it. They want to know if they bought everything correctly. So that's my
Go.
job
Do
to
your
go
do
there
your
and see
thing,
it.
Paul. Do your thing.
Yeah.
I'm gonna post this up. I'm gonna put it on YouTube, send you a
Okay.
YouTube link as well. But key information, y'all. Talk to Paul Lou. Follow at Paul Lou PAFL on Instagram. Information to be below. And yeah, if you guys need more information, follow him and talk to him. But great information. And even if you just want to get some consulting from him on how to go about it, it is worth the time. Thanks, Paul.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. Okay.
All right,
Bye.
talk to
Have
you
a good
soon.
day. Thank you. Okay. Bye. Bye. Bye.